All right. Hey. We thank you all for stopping in, hanging out with me again. This is Geoff Tyson, your host of Conversations with Geoff, baby. Where our mission, you guys know what our mission is. That's right. Change that stinking thinking that holds you back, that limits your steps, that limits your action. It's always in the way of your progress. We believe to change the conversation you're having with yourself, about yourself, because listen to me, baby, change your thoughts, you change your life. And it's going to take some work. And people say, well, how do I do that? And I just like to give you a couple quick things. One of them is this. Man, become aware of the things that are spinning around in your head and then ask yourself, is it serving you or is it hindering you? Right. And so if you're thinking about all the mistakes you made last week or last year, and then think about replace that with a thought of the successes that you have. You had to have done something well, right? So if you're negative, then think of a positive thought. If you just had a bad encounter with somebody, think about the fact that, hey, next time you'll do better with that. So replace the good, the bad, the ugly with the lovely. We like to say, right? And know that we are all made to serve, and we're not perfect, and it's okay to have a bad day and cut yourself some slack. So focus on the conversation that's running around in your head that you can control and begin to make a change one step at a time, one word at a time, one statement at a time. So your challenge today, as always, if that's you and you're running around and you're not really paying attention and life's not where you want it to be, or either in your relationships or on your job or wherever it might be that you're struggling, step back and pay attention to what's going on, what you're telling yourself, and how much of that is holding you back, right? And remember, change your thoughts, change your life. So, hey, I want to welcome all of our new folks that are joining us now. And for all of you that have been following us along the way, we really appreciate it. And everyone knows the requests that we have. They're really simple. Recognize and honor our guests by showing some love when this is pre-recorded. So we're going to get it out there, drop some love in here, and make sure that you reach out to them, some of the opportunities that they're going to give you. And man, most importantly, so hit the link to subscribe this, share this information, tag it, put the bell out there so upcoming events you don't miss, because our goal is to bring folks in from different walks of life in three categories: relationships and all the things around that, health and different categories there, and then wealth, right? So we want to kind of cover that whole spectrum of life with experts that are humble and the messaging that I will share with you from time to time. So listen, let me get to go over here for today. And boy, this lady is amazing. I met her through, again, the way the world communicates nowadays is we reach out and touch folks all over the world. And I met her through a mentor of mine. And oh man, I'm just going to kind of look down at some of these accomplishments because she's just done so many things. And our guest, she's, woo, man, I graduate of Grambling College with a bachelor's of science in health and physical education. Got a one of two masters, one from Cortland College, the other one from Grambling, and then got her doctorate of education in human performance as a teacher. Then now she's taught for over 37 years. Wow, boy, in New York City, man, oh boy, we all boo. Maybe she'll tell us a little bit of how that was. I know that wasn't easy, but she's taught in different places. She's also been a basketball coach, physical education department. A dancer. She's traveled to Southeast Asia to entertain people in the military. Her tour was for 2 months, covering Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Philippines, and then traveling here in the U.S., dancing, an author, published 4 books, motivated. She's got a couple she's going to talk to you about coming up as she goes through this session today. And after retirement now, 10 years, she's still kicking it. Retirement, listen, those of you that wondering, worrying about, what am I going to do in my life? Don't let retirement be when you turn your life switch off. Her switch is on full blown, right? 10 years after retirement, she's still giving service to children in areas in Louisiana, teaching poetry, dance, physical fitness. Won several awards. Let me just say to you, get ready, get your pen out, And this lady is amazing. And I'm going to tell you a little secret about it as we talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to clap your hands and welcome to our show, Conversations with Death, Dr. Pradia. All right, let's get it over here. Come on now. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. How are you?
Doing fantastic, Dr. Pradia. How are you?
I'm great, great, great. Great to be alive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I believe it. You know, you always bring that energy. So we're really excited to have you here and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. It means a lot to us.
And thank you for having me here today.
Hey, I know it took a while to get you here, but we really appreciate you carving out the time. So,
Well,
and as a matter of fact, pardon me?
I'm excited to be here with you.
Yeah. So let's get right to it then. I know you had some, life is always showing up, right?
Yeah,
I want to,
definitely.
yeah. And you always, you tell us a little bit, I highlighted some of the things, but, one secret I didn't tell them, they're not going to believe this. And so people probably, she retired 10 years. This just get to the point where people are talking about they're too old, they can't do things. Tell us, I know I'm not supposed to ask, but I'm asking, how young are you and what are you looking for in the next 10 years of your life?
What I'm looking for now is to get people to pay attention to their health, get
Mm,
vigilant about learning more about their health.
mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things, because if you take care of your health, that's like, well, that's the best thing. If you don't have your health, you will not be able to reach the goals that you aspire to reach.
Yeah.
So I am 77 years young, and I am known as the high energy queen
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
fitness world. So keep fit, and now I want to share with others what I do each day, because I have a 5 minute fitness program. In fact, I just started a business. It's called 5 Minute Fitness Gym, and
Mm,
I'm launching that. And it's every morning I get up and do 5 minutes in the morning, and I've been doing that for 6 years. And people
wow.
always ask me, where do you get all that energy? And so I let them know that it's because I work out in the morning. I do
Yeah.
5 minutes. It doesn't, a lot of people say, well, I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And I say to them, love yourself enough to
Mm,
give yourself 5 minutes.
mm,
Get up maybe 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier and do a 5 minute fitness. And I
mm.
have one that's called Jumpstart Your Day. And in fact, I will be doing this on Thursday evening at 6:30. I'll be give some free sessions so people could be introduced to the 5 minutes. And if they
Wow.
want more, then I have another program where they can continue, because I have several 5 minutes of fitness where you do throughout the day.
Okay.
Because take, for instance, you as a business person, and those are the people I'm trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have time. Get up 5 minutes, boom, you get your 5 minutes, and guess what? You will actually feel like you've been to a gym for 30 minutes, because it's intense. And I will tell you, you probably won't be able to do the 5 minutes.
Watch out.
Okay? Because
uh,
many people are challenging, were not able to do the 5 minute. But
I'll
I
take the challenge.
but I but I tell them, just let the let the exercise meet you where you are. Take, for
Yeah.
instance, if I'm doing 30 of the movement, if you could do 10, be grateful that you could do 10, and
That's
know
right.
that your goal is 30. So
Yes.
don't beat yourself.
Yes.
Because don't try to do what I do. If you're
Yes.
40 and you say, well, I should be able to do it because she's 77. No, your body's not ready.
That's it.
Now, just if you can do 10 and be grateful that you can
Yes.
do 10. And
Yes.
then the next one, I have to modify it for most people, because they're not ready to do the low plank, high plank, low plank, high plank. That's
Yes.
difficult.
Yes.
So So when I teach that, I just keep reminding them, don't be so hard on yourself because I say it's 5 minutes and they think, oh, I could do 5 minutes.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
I tested a fitness instructor, a trainer
Okay.
from California when I went to California. And
Mm.
I have to say this, how you men are when they
Ah!
challenging a lady. You don't want us to outdo you.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So
That's true.
I challenged him to the 5 minutes, and he did it the whole 5 minutes. But when he finished, he was sweating, he was wet,
Mm.
wet, and he had to admit it was intense.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm
he
looking forward to it. I remember when you mentioned it to me the first time we met, and you said, "Oh, I don't think you're gonna be able to get through it, Geoff." I'm like, "Uh huh,
hmm.
okay."
So that's what I'm up to now, trying to
Nice.
get people in a good place with their health, because
Yeah.
that's so important. Because I see so many people have sort of, it's almost like they've given up on themselves as far as the
Mm.
health aspect of it. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that people will see the value of health in their life.
Well, you said something too earlier, and I wrote it down, Doctor Pradia. You said, "Love yourself enough." Remember saying
Yes,
that? Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And
In
so,
fact, 2 days ago, I wrote a poem about that,
mm,
loving yourself enough.
wow,
So, so I'm going to type it sometime tomorrow, and I'll probably challenge the group that I'll have with that point.
wow. Well, make
Yeah.
sure you drop it over this way because I know it's powerful. Because I'll just give you a quick sneak peek. The Remarkable Man, the 5 poems celebrating men, is one of the things that I've read personally, and it's just dynamite. So I'm sure that the poem that you're writing for that part is going to be powerful because you speak from the spirit and from the soul, and I really love that.
Thank you. That particular book is written by me in the
Mm.
voice of a man.
Mm.
So, except for one. And when I wrote it, I went to different barbershop and read it to different men in a different men's club to
Okay.
see if I was actually sound like it came from the voice of a man.
Hmm.
And I got a yes from everyone. In fact, many of their names are in the book
Yeah.
to honor them for listening to it. So they say, yes, publish it.
Yeah. Well, I read it. And I didn't. It was certainly like I could identify as though it was me writing or speaking it myself. So you've
Mhm.
accomplished that for sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the one you're going to write for your exercise. Is that next week you're doing that or this week? The 5 minutes.
Well, I'm doing it on, what's it, the 23rd of this month.
Okay. Okay.
And then on the 2nd, March 2nd, is
Okay.
it the kick up to the 90 days of challenge.
And ladies and gentlemen, that information it will be in the chat. So make sure that you link up. You'll probably miss this one because of the release date on it, but you out and maybe even March. But be aware of the fact that you're going to continue to do these sessions, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I will be
Okay.
announcing those. Yes.
Be announcing those, and then you'll
Dif-
be sure to have contact information there.
right. Different days. It will not always be on the Thursday, different days. I lost you. I can't hear you.
How about now?
Now, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I had some problems with it yesterday, so just raise your hand if you can't hear me,
Okay.
and we'll just keep moving on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw. I was telling myself I wasn't a very good student growing up. I had to learn how to study after I was injured and no longer had the ability to go to the NFL because that was my goal. But I really had some difficult times through school. And I met some teachers that told me I was never going to amount to things. And I met some teachers that were saying, hey, I understand, show up and do your best. How you're 37 years, how would people say when they think back when they see you, Dr. Pradia, what would they say about
That I was a disciplinarian.
you? I bet.
That's the one thing that I hear,
Yeah.
and that many of them say, I am where I am today because of you. And that
Mm,
makes me feel so proud of them because I have so
mm,
many students who has excelled.
mm,
And what I'm so happy about as well, because when I was in school, like in the 11th grade, I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. And so I am very proud of myself and my accomplishment because I stayed out of school for 2 years before going to college because I worked in the homes of people taking care of their children.
mm,
Uh, like, and then one day I found out 2 years after I graduated from high school, I
mm.
found out that one of my classmates went to college. And then it was an aha moment. I said, oh my God, if he is smart enough to go to college, I know I'm smart enough because I'm smarter than he is. So once that happened, it's like a light bulb went off and the doors opened for me to find ways to find money to go to school. So I
Mm,
got on a national defense loan,
mm.
and the people that I was working with had graduated from Grambling. So I went to Grambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great school, and I'm just I heard you say in 11th grade you didn't think you were smart enough to go to college.
Right.
And, for those of you that may have missed the introduction, let me just reflect back to how powerful that statement means, because she not only graduated with her BS in science and health from Grambling, she also got her master's at Portland College in science and physical education, another master's from Grambling in sports administration, and then got her doctorate of education in human performance. That same person.
And
Wow.
let me tell you something about that. And once I got to college, I found out that I was smart enough, and if I do well, I didn't have to pay for my other degrees because if you're smart enough, you can get an assistantship. So all the other degrees were paid through an assistantship.
Oh man! So what I heard you say is you got all that education and you didn't come out with a deep hole of debt, and
Exactly.
you were smart enough. Hey, listen. I'm sure you had to work to be at the level of smartness that you. I know that's not a right statement, but English wasn't my
Right.
favorite. So those of you out there and you're wondering, you hear this message. Oh man, that smashes any excuse, right? I mean, God, man.
Exactly. There's so much power in you. And there's a
Mm,
lot of things that you have not even accomplished yet. So don't like to say, put yourself down or
yeah.
put yourself like small, because there's so much in you. There's so much power. And I know that because I continue to learn and learn from whoever can teach you, because I learned from 4-year-olds as well.
Wow.
Because when I had my new phone and I was playing with it, a 4-year-old grabbed it out my hand and said, Dr. Brady, let me show you how to do this. One of my little dancers, because I have a dance studio and I've been teaching dance. So I have a dance studio, but I haven't had dance since the COVID.
It's COVID,
But
yeah.
I haven't had a dance studio. So she just took it and I said, okay, thank you, honey. So
Hey,
I learn from whoever can teach me what I need to know.
yeah, yeah. What do they say in life? Sometimes we miss the gift because it shows up in a brown paper bag, and we're looking
That's right.
for it in this big with a big bow on it. So yeah, that's a real powerful example. And I hear my grandkids are just wizards. They just, I mean, they touch it and go. So that's great stuff. So now the dancing. So I saw you mentioned before when we talked that you did it and then COVID you stopped. But
Right.
you're thinking about doing that again? And what kind of dancing is that, Dr. Pradia?
Yes, I will. Right now, I'm very fortunate to say that at my age, like I told you earlier, people still want to see me perform.
Mm,
So I'm performing at the Black Heritage Program at Westgate High School here in New Iberia. They called and
mm,
asked me to perform. and I will be doing I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. And if
Oh,
you want to see that, just type my name in YouTube because it's in YouTube. I did it years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago. So I
okay,
went to the video and look at it, and I will relive that dance in a few days.
man. So I can go in and just pop your name in there and find that video. I'm gonna do that for
And
sure.
YouTube, yes,
Wow.
yes. And I'll be performing that for their Black Heritage Program. So I'm still staying in shape. I'm still dancing when people call and ask me to perform.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I'm
That's
just not teaching it at the studio, but I still have my studio because I own it, and I go there occasionally and dance.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So you still have the rhythm and the strength. That's how you can do that 5 minute thing
Of,
and hurt.
of course, of course, I will never let that go. I have a aunt who was she passed away when she was 100 years old, about 6 months past her 100th birthday, and she told me, she said, "Honey, if anybody tell you you're too old to keep dancing, don't listen to them." She said,
Mm,
continue to dance because that's your gift from God. And don't stop dancing until He takes it away from you.
wow. Wow. I got goosebumps when I hear that. Because there's so many people that need to hear this message today that will hear that,
Mhm.
and that alone will help them step into their dance. Right? It's a different dance step. We all are dancing to something. you
Right.
know, and your message is about keep moving forward, keep stepping, and keep dancing. I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
So as we kind of well, I could keep you all day here. I promised to you I wouldn't do that. So I got just a couple more questions I want to ask you, and one of them is, you've written some. But what got you into writing? What is it? Because what is it
9
about?
11, 9
Uh,
11.
mm,
When 9/11 happened, it was unbelievable. And I
mm,
just had to write. I used to write before when I was in New York because my first teaching job, was in Brooklyn, New York.
okay.
And I used to write. I wrote small plays, and then I lost a lot of my material in the subway. I left my bag in the subway,
Oh
and that
man.
discouraged me. And then I didn't write anymore until 9/11. And I was living in Louisiana
Okay.
during that time at 9/11. I had moved back to Louisiana. And
Mm,
then I started writing again. I started writing acrostic. Every title that came on the news, I would write about it.
wow.
That's what had me going again. Then after that, I started writing uh, other different, poems from
Yeah.
there. And then
Yeah.
I took a sabbatical from my job. I needed
Mm.
a break, but I don't take breaks. So
Yeah.
I went,
You
I went,
did the look, right?
I just needed a different environment. So
Yeah.
I went to school, and I got in uh, dance class, something that I enjoyed. Took some
Hmm.
classes in dance, and I took a class in portrait writing, and we had to do a little booklet. So at the end of the class, we did our little booklet, and then I said, "Oh, I have a little booklet. I may as well do a book of poems." And
Yeah.
that's how my first one came out. It's called Portrait the Way I Did It. So I
Wow.
add on to that and made it a book. And that's what got me started with publishing.
Okay.
So now I have 3 books published. This one is called My Love, Your Love, Portrait of Love. And
Gotcha.
this is all about love. So I decided to just write. And then people was asking me, when are you going to write about your life? So I
Mm.
decided to write this one, and it's called Motivated by Dance, My Dream Realized.
Wow.
So dance was the key to getting me to where I am today.
Mm.
And I, some people may remember, some people too young to remember, to know about the Ed Sullivan Show. But that's where I got started, looking at the Ed Sullivan Show
Yeah.
and watching the acrobatics and the way people were moving their body. And it was unbelievable until
Mm.
I decided to try it. And I decided to try everything I saw just to see if it was possible.
Yeah.
and I saw where it was possible. I was able to do it, and that's how I started into dance.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. You said so many things in that, and all the way up to just wrapping up what you said about seeing things and seeing it's possible and then taking action to do it.
Yes.
And that's how you went from that 11th grade person to getting your doctoral degree, and then still showing up today, amazingly, giving back to the world and society. So tell us how we can get a hold of you, and what you have coming up next, so we don't miss out on that as we wrap up, Dr. Pradia.
Uh, go to 5 minutes fitness gym. 5 minutes fitnessgym.com. Yeah, you can find out about the upcoming program in fitness. And you can go to drpradia.com if you want to know more about the Motivated by Dance in my other books.
Okay, and will the dance be all virtual too? With the 5 minute sessions, and that I'm assuming that'll be all virtual. There'll be a link for that. You can.
Virtual, yes,
Okay.
yes. The information will be on 5minutefitness.com. If you go there, I'll update it and put the dates where the new classes will start as well.
Okay. So you listeners that hear obviously there's some dates that she will have already done the classes, but make sure you hit the link to get connected to, because we're going to release this in coming here in March. So make sure that you don't miss out on the opportunities to do the 5 minute challenge. And then most importantly, hear how your life, wherever you are in life, that if you do several of the things that she talked about, in terms of changing the belief she had about herself from that 11th grade person to being the smartest, getting a big brain and basically going to college for free based off of the effort she did academically, and to serve and to continue to help kids, the disciplinarian, and man, that's, people tell you that's got to warm your heart, as when you hear that. So many children. My daughter's a teacher, so I hear about the kids, and so many children. And she's kind of a disciplinarian, and she connects with them. And I don't have to tell you that there's home life, and a lot of kids isn't the way it should be, and they suffer a lot.
Yes. When I see, when you talk about children, my name was for a long time is Broussard. So most of the people, the student in college, they know me as Miss Broussard. And when I became Pradia, one of my students told my husband, he said, let me tell you something. We are her children, and she will always be Miss Broussard to us. So you could forget about us calling her Pradia. So they always call me Miss Broussard. If you see Miss Broussard, those are my kids from the 80s at Grambling. I taught them at Grambling.
I love that. I'm gonna call you Miss Broussard on behalf of the kids, because I'm one of those ones that man. So that's fantastic. So listen, Dr. Broussard Pradia, I'm just gonna give you both. I want to thank you so much. And if you were to say in a couple of sentences something that you want people to remember you by from this conversation, what would that be?
Loyalty and giving, a giving spirit. That's what I would like them to know, because that depicts who I am. I love to teach. I love for people to learn. I love to see growth. And that makes me excited when I could see a difference in a person, to see the growth in them. And they appreciate it as well. So that's all you could ask for in life. That's all I can ask for in life.
Well, I'm glad that I'm able to have you up front and personal, because I grew from this conversation. And I know that the folks listening to and hearing this message later will do the same thing. So I really, really appreciate you again taking the time out And I'm gonna get on that schedule to do the 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll come back on the show and say, "How do you do?" You know, I'll admit it if I did.
Now, when you go on YouTube, you can see that 5 minutes as well. So
Okay.
look for it there. But it's the one I'm teaching you is just a little different than the one that's on YouTube, because the one on YouTube been on there about 6 years.
Okay, so it's probably a little more aggressive now what you're doing. So I'll check it out.
Not that much. Okay, great.
All right. Well, listen, Dr. Pradia, thank you so much.
Okay.
You have a great day, and look forward to staying in touch with you. Keep being the example that so many people need to see. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, what I tell you, man, you know, again, we could have kept her on here forever. She just has so many areas of life that we can learn from. Boy, if you didn't walk away from there understanding the power of belief and how you can change your world by changing your belief and never giving up, right? I mean, you heard her about her education. You heard her about the disciplinary and how she gave back, and giving back, she was able to gain things in life that, you know, she's still using today. So listen, when I tell you, make sure you share this information. Get her stuff. Reach out to her. If you can't get her, let me know. Make sure you get all the books that she has, and take advantage of the 5-minute exercise. And don't be like I was and say, 5 minutes, that's not a lot. 5 minutes every day, 5 minutes, 5 days a week is a whole lot better than nothing at all. And the way she has it set up, I got a sneaky suspicion. She already told us the one trainer, when he did the 5 minutes, he was drenched. So you don't do that if it's not aggressive. So anyhow, as we wrap up, make sure again you subscribe to the channel, share this information, and be on the lookout for some additional training opportunities we have in and around relationships and business development growth, and most importantly, real estate investors. Yeah, you know, I'm still the king of rehab. And we got a lot of stuff going on that we're going to be releasing here in the next month or so. Hit me up now if you want to have further conversations. Geoff C. Tyson at gmail.com. Hey, Geoff, I saw you on the show. I need to meet with you and just talk about it. So as we wrap up, remember what we started out with. Watch your stinking thinking and do something different each and every day in and about that. And like Dr. Pradia said, you know, love yourself enough to do the 5 minutes, and love yourself enough to pay attention to yourself and realize the power that you have been given by changing the conversation you have with yourself about yourself. Change your thoughts, change your life, baby. We believe that. Watch that stinking thinking, and we'll see you on the next episode.